Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Friday, the 14th of August. 6 accused in Peshawar Army school attack get death penalty. Rajapaksa won't be appointed the next Prime Minister, says President Sirisena. And India's Kochi airport to become world's first to run on solar power. And now for all the details. A special court in Pakistan has sentenced 6 people to death for a Taliban attack on the Peshawar Army School last year. At least 141 people, mostly students, were killed by the Taliban gunmen in one of the deadliest terror attacks in the country's history.
The Pakistan Army on Friday confirmed that the military tribunal has awarded death penalties to 6 of the accused, while another was given life imprisonment. All the convicts were accused of plotting and facilitating the 6 gunmen who carried out the massacre. This is the first conviction by the military court in connection with the case, which dates back to last December. 6 Taliban gunmen has stormed into the Peshawar Army School, opening indiscriminate fire at students and teachers alike, killing over 140 people. The militia claimed that the attack was in retaliation to an anti-Taliban operation in the country's tribal areas. Following the incident, Pakistan had lifted a 6-year moratorium on death penalties and amended the constitution to establish military courts to try terror cases.
A top-level Afghan delegation met the political leadership of Pakistan on Thursday to discuss the security situation following the death of Mullah Omar. The delegation, led by Foreign Minister Salahuddin Rabbani, has reportedly asked Islamabad to target the Taliban leadership in Pakistan and cut off its financial support. During the talks, the two sides also agreed on the resumption of dialogue between the Afghan government and the Taliban. The delegation's visit comes days after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani criticized Islamabad's continued support to the insurgents. Ever since the confirmation of the death of Mullah Omar last month, the country has seen a spike in Taliban-led violence, killing more than 70 people. Pakistan celebrated its 69th Independence Day on Friday with patriotism and celebrations. Take a look.
Pakistan President Mamnoon Hussain, along with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and other dignitaries, attended main celebrations in capital Islamabad on Friday. Special prayers and ceremonial events were also held across the country. Addressing the nation on the occasion, President Hussain said Pakistan will not compromise on any threat to territorial sovereignty. Congratulating the people on the Independence Day, Prime Minister Sharif called for unity among the citizens. The day was also marked at various Pakistani diplomatic missions across the world. In neighboring India, Pakistan envoy Abdul Basit led the celebrations. Basit said Pakistan is committed towards having good relations with India.
पाकिस्तान हमेशा भारत के साथ अच्छे ताल्लुकात की ख्वाहिश भी रखी है और इस हवाले से कोशिश भी की है। हम चाहते हैं कि हमारे दोनों ममालिक के दरमियान जो मसाइल हैं, जो तनाज़ात हैं, ख़ास तौर पर जम्मू और कश्मीर का जो मसला है, वो हम मुज़ाकरात से उसको हल करें।
Pakistan was formed as an Islamic republic on 14th August 1947 from British India, following its partition into 2 sovereign states.
Meanwhile, neighboring India is ramping up security arrangements nationwide as the country prepares to celebrate its Independence Day on Saturday. The increased security is crucial in the wake of exchanges of fire across the border with Pakistan and recent attacks by Pakistan-based militants.
As India prepares to celebrate its Independence Day, it is raising security levels nationwide. Major commercial and government buildings are undergoing rigorous security sweeps, and locations such as airports, metro and railway stations and even cinema halls are under intense scrutiny. The heightened security precautions are being taken following a recent spate of militant attacks believed to have been carried out by the Pakistan-based terror group Lashkar-e-Toiba in the northern Punjab and Kashmir regions. Border security has also been strengthened. As many as 50,000 additional troops reportedly have been deployed along the international border to foil any more attempted infiltrations.
On Independence Day, because always such kind of threat exists, so we are taking all anti-terrorist measures, whatever is required. In case of Fedayeen attack also, we are ready, suppose if there is any Fedayeen attack in this area, our force is ready to counter that kind of attack also.
Intelligence agencies have also warned of growing Islamic State threat to India. Despite elaborate arrangements being made nationwide, security still remains a challenge in view of multiple possible sources of security threats. But India's security establishment says it is confident that its high level of preparedness will ensure that it is well equipped to deal with any act of aggression.
As the country is gearing up to mark Independence Day, all eyes are on the Indian Prime Minister. While addressing the nation on Saturday, he is expected to announce a number of measures. A report.
All eyes and ears will be on Prime Minister Narendra Modi when the people of India celebrate their 69th Independence Day on August 15th. On Saturday, speaking from the historic Red Fort in Delhi, Mr. Modi is expected to promise new crop insurance schemes for farmers after unseasonal rains flattened crops in major parts of the country earlier this year. Mr. Modi is also expected to carry forward with his theme of more structured financial help for the people. Last year, in an initiative to help the poor, he pledged to provide bank accounts for every household, with each account expected to offer an overdraft facility after 6 months. This time around, he may take the baton forward by announcing youth welfare schemes and an insurance plan covering all family members.
And innovative ideas put forth by the Prime Minister on the last Independence Day have borne fruit across the country, and they would be carried forward even beyond this Independence Day. And of course, the new ideas, new visuals and new innovative plans would be coming forth from him.
Another issue that nearly 2 million ex-servicemen are hoping will be mentioned in Mr. Modi's speech is the adoption of the one rank, one pension scheme. However, Mr. Modi's opponents feel that he first needs to put the basics in place. They believe he should use the occasion of Independence Day to counter controversial remarks allegedly made by some leaders of the Hindu Nationalist Party.
Well, we certainly believe that the Prime Minister of the largest democracy of the world should, on the occasion of the Independence Day, reassert that his government will take concrete action to translate the promises of the Constitution so that the people of India can live in larger happiness and in greater freedom.
Analysts say that last year, with just 3 months of leadership under his belt, Mr. Modi's speech could afford to poke holes in schemes mooted by the previous government. But after more than a year in power, the Prime Minister will be expected to propose well-laid plans to boost rural development and employment opportunities in India, two issues that the opposition has repeatedly criticised him for.
As the polling day for the parliamentary elections inches closer in Sri Lanka, political drama is all the more intensifying. President Maithripala Sirisena has once again stressed that his predecessor Mahinda Rajapaksa will not be appointed as a Prime Minister.
President Maithripala Sirisena on Thursday said that former strongman Mahinda Rajapaksa would not be appointed as the Prime Minister even if the United People's Freedom Alliance or UPFA wins the parliamentary election next week. President Sirisena is the chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party or the SLPF, which is the main constituent of the UPFA, pulled up Rajapaksa for allegedly inciting communalism during election campaign. He also said that there were other senior party leaders who were fit for the post of Prime Minister. The president had been adamantly opposing Rajapaksa and is instead vouching current Prime Minister Wickremesinghe for the post.
Iran Foreign Minister Javad Zarif on Friday met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to discuss opportunities to strengthen bilateral ties. Zarif, who is on a one-day visit to the country, also met his Indian counterpart Sushma Swaraj and Indian Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari earlier in the day. This is the first trip by a key minister of Iran post the historic nuclear agreement with the Western countries in July. It also comes in the backdrop of Iran inviting Indian investments of about $8 billion in infrastructure projects there. The two sides have also reportedly discussed about the increasing Indian imports of Iranian oil. New Delhi and Tehran had in May signed an agreement to develop the Chabahar port, which would provide India a sea land access route to Afghanistan bypassing Pakistan. At a time when there is growing awareness on replacing traditional energy sources with renewable energy, this city in southern India has already set a new benchmark globally. Take a look.
The Kochi International Airport in southern Kerala is all set to become the world's first airport to operate fully on solar power. The airport, which requires around 5,000 units per day, will be generating the power from a newly installed 12 megawatt solar plant with more than 46,000 panels on 45 acres. The project, which began in 2013, was completed at a cost of nearly $9.5 million.
Full power സോളാറിൽ നിന്ന് പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്ന ഒരു വിമാനത്താവളം എന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ പറയാനായിട്ടുള്ള കാരണം ഇതുകൊണ്ടാണ്. 52,000 പ്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്ഥാനത്ത് 49,000 യൂണിറ്റ് മാത്രമേ ഞങ്ങൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ. മിച്ചം KSEBിയിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കുകയായിരിക്കും.
With the new power generation in place, the airport aims to become absolutely power neutral and cut down on carbon emissions in the coming years. The project will be officially inaugurated on Tuesday.
Elaborate designing and exquisite cuts. Take a look at how this event enthralled all fashion enthusiasts.
The grand finale of the India Bridal Fashion Week 2015 could not have turned more spectacular. The grandeur of the event was evident from magnificent outfit that was inspired by Persian art and literature. The collection ranged from shades of blue, cream, orange and pink on attire such as lehengas, floor-length anarkalis, netted saris and sharara pants. And lighting up the runway with grace was model-turned-actor Pernia Qureshi, who turned into a dancing bride. The India Bridal Fashion Week is an annual event which showcases best bridal couture trends by some of the leading fashion designers of the country. It also promotes trade and connects designers with fashion consumers.
High voltage action, emotion and melodrama. This is what Bollywood's latest release has in store for cinefans. Take a look.
What happens when blood turns against blood? This is what Brothers, starring Akshay Kumar, Siddharth Malhotra and Jacqueline Fernandez, seeks to explore on the backdrop of sibling rivalry. The latest outing from director Karan Malhotra, Brothers spills a lot of blood and breaks plenty of bones. The cast of the film recently got together in capital New Delhi.
For the first time, you will have men in the audience crying and feeling the emotion rather than women, because it's such a rare emotion that you see vis-a-vis your own brother. You know, you hate them and you love them at the same time, and you can want to kill them one day.
Action star Kumar said the role was no less challenging.
Martial art is not that you कि आपको आता है तो मतलब you can carry मतलब you can work on it and you can go for shooting. You actually have to keep on rehearsing and to make it better and better and better. And how different can you give to your audience?
Brothers is the official remake of Hollywood film Warrior. The tale revolves around two estranged brothers who come from a family of fighters. Fate brings the two street fighters head-to-head in a bloody mixed martial arts contest. As the bout unfolds, it gives way to an epic storyline. The film also features actors Jackie Shroff and Shefali Shah.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. 6 accused in Peshawar Army School attack get death penalty. Rajapaksa won't be appointed the next Prime Minister, says President Sirisena. And India's Kochi airport to become world's first to run on solar power. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend and good night.